So, what happens when a young woman who's been shattered by one of history's biggest disasters meets a reclusive older man who's just completely shut himself off from the world? Well, that's the heart of this incredible one-act play. A story about two very different souls in the American South who find a connection against all odds.
All right, let's meet our two main characters. On one side, you've got Betsy. She's young, she's full of life, but she is haunted by this deep, deep trauma. And then you have Mr. Raines. He's in his late 60s, a total recluse, perfectly happy on his South Carolina plantation. I mean, we're talking polar opposites here. So you have to wonder, what on earth could bring these two together? And here's our very first clue. Right from the beginning, Mr. Raines sees something in Betsy that even her own family just misses. He looks right past all her grief and sees the poet inside her. And that simple act of recognition, of really seeing her, that's the seed from which this whole unlikely relationship is going to grow.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit and see where it all started. This first part of their story, it's really all about a desperate cry for help and an equally profound act of just listening. So, the story kicks off in the summer of 1912. This is just months after one of the most infamous disasters ever, the sinking of the Titanic. Betsy is a survivor, but here's the thing. While she physically got off that sinking ship, emotionally, she's drowning, trapped in a world that just doesn't get her pain.
And this just captures her feeling of isolation perfectly. To her family, her grief is kind of an inconvenience, something she should just move on from. They see her standing there, but they have no idea about the storm raging inside. She feels completely invisible, suffocated not by cruelty, but by their simple failure to see her pain.
Feeling totally cornered, Betsy just runs. She heads for the river, and it's less about escape and more just a desperate cry for help. When she falls in, Mr. Raines dives in without a second thought. But listen, this isn't just about pulling her out of the water. This is the first time anyone has reached out to her without judgment, without demanding she be anything other than what she is in that moment, completely broken. And it's in that quiet moment, right after he pulls her from the water, that's when the real rescue happens. For the very first time, Betsy feels safe enough to just let it all out. The words finally come pouring out as she tells him about the unbelievable loss she suffered on the Titanic. And this is the key. This is why their bond becomes so incredibly strong. Her family wanted to fix her, to push her past her grief. Mr. Raines, he just listens. He gives her the space to be broken, to be a survivor, without any judgment. And that understanding, that's what really starts her healing.
Okay, now let's fast forward a whole decade. We're about to see how that tiny initial spark of connection has grown into a really steady flame. So 10 years go by. It's 1922 now, and their dynamic has totally shifted. It's not rescuer and victim anymore. It's something else entirely. Just look at this transformation. That grieving, lost girl, she is gone. In her place is this confident, witty, and playfully flirtatious woman. Betsy now comes to Mr. Raines not with desperation, but with this bold, sparkling energy that just completely catches him off guard. And he gives it right back to her. He is so clearly charmed by her and just deeply fond of her. His affection, which started as this quiet empathy, has blossomed over the years into something so much deeper. He even stumbles over calling her Betsy, which is this perfect little clue that shows how their relationship is moving from formal to really, really intimate. But of course, a love story this unconventional can't just happen without some challenges. And for Betsy and Mr. Raines, the obstacles are huge, coming from the world around them and from deep inside themselves. So they're getting hit from two sides. Externally, they're facing society's harsh judgment, which is perfectly captured by Betsy's Aunt Katie, who literally calls their relationship a sordid scandal. But internally, Mr. Raines is completely torn. He has these deep feelings for Betsy, but he's also a practical guy who's terrified that a relationship with her could threaten his plantation and the community that relies on it. And just listen to his words here. They make his hesitation so clear. This isn't about their age gap. His feelings for her are all-consuming. The conflict is purely about duty versus desire. It's a classic struggle, right? His head versus his heart. So, how do they get past all this? Well, Betsy, being the determined spirit she is, refuses to let these roadblocks define their future. She comes up with a whole new way forward. Instead of running from the problem, they face it head on. Betsy suggests this brilliant strategy. What if she became his partner in business, as well as in life? It's an amazing show of female agency for that time. By making herself essential to the plantation, she's changing the narrative. This isn't a scandalous affair anymore, it's a practical, professional merger. It's such a clever plan to defy convention by using its own pragmatic language. And this image, it just captures their new pact perfectly. They're going to join forces, her vibrant spirit with his steady dedication. They're not just two people in love anymore. They are a team, ready to face down society's judgment together and hold up the legacy of the plantation as a united front. In the end, it's Betsy's courage that inspires Mr. Raines to find his own. He throws off those pragmatic fears and decides to fight for them. He calls on the stubbornness of his ancestors, vowing to stand right by her side, no matter the whispers, no matter the scandal. And that leaves us with this final, lingering question. The story of Betsy and Mr. Raines really challenges us to think about love itself. Is it something that has to fit inside the neat little boxes society creates for us? Or can a connection that is true and deep enough actually create its own rules, forging a whole new path for everyone to see?